Hello, my name is Chatelier, and welcome back for another episode of Colombia's Space Initiative in Supreme Ruler Ultimate. And in previous episode we sold quite a bit of industrial goods especially for the Chinese and the Russians. And this time we are skip ahead a little bit, did some tech trading and bought I think 1 or 2 techs from the United States, and I sold quite a few techs all around the world, and I actually even sold the synthetic rubber thingy to Germans. I'll see how that turns out. I mean, they paid 50 million for that, I can't complain, but we expanded our consumer goods production here, and that did lower our unemployment quite a bit. I reckon it's also going to increase our trade income quite nicely. We do get over 3 million from consumer goods right now. Now, of course, it does. I was trying to say does and did at the same time, and that didn't go all that well. But yes, that did increase our trade income a little bit there again. By about almost an extra million, actually. Now, it did increase the consumption of the industrial goods a little bit. We're going to accumulate quite a bit, I reckon, without too many issues. But yeah, slowly but surely we are getting the research done. We are still about 2.5 months away from getting the transportation improvements, after which we'll get the artillery, and then we'll get the improved machining tools, which does unlock a lot of various things. Mostly the vehicle and weapon related, but still, it's not too bad. And by the looks of it, the war in the east... Okay, so the Germans had something over there, but that's been surrounded and probably run out of supplies. They are kind of in a precarious situation. Every now and then they try to push over there to Moscow and or along this road, but they're stopped usually well before they reach anything crucial. But it's fairly stable. I did sell a little bit... Ooh, right, Russians and Japanese have signed ceasefire. I sold a little bit of supplies to the Russians once again. Like 1,000 tons of military goods. Not too much. A little bit to keep them fighting, and not to mention give us $44 million from that, so I can't complain. But yes, we are... Oh, actually, the unemployment is again at 3.8%. If it hits 4%, we might want to build more industrial goods production, for example. And eventually we do need to improve or increase our military goods production, quite frankly, but we might want to get that one going full speed before we do that. And by full speed I mean just, you know, expand the supply situation in there. Now we did get some tech from the United States that increased our healthcare rating, so I did drop the funding there a tiny bit, but we don't actually spend all that much on the social services, only 7 million right now, so the difference between maybe 1 or 2% decrease in funding isn't all that massive. It's barely noticeable, quite frankly. But we are pretty much rolling in cash right now. Actually, let's have a look. Would there be anyone else that wants to buy stuff from us, Greece? Quality control standards. Sure, you probably want that. What about Australia? You got a lot of money. You want optics and the gun barrel design, right? As well as potentially some other things. Right, yeah, we got a lot of money from there, so we got another 300 million. Let's have a look. Would there be anything that United States would... Ooh. Okay, that wouldn't be bad. Or that... Oh, actually, yeah, that's something that I do want to get. Improving the healthcare rating. Actually, I'll let those just increase the healthcare rating, but that should increase the birth rate quite a bit. Okay, so there's actually between the births and deaths... Oh, and lower the deaths, of course. Currently there is an estimation of a difference of 100,000 per year. And then another 140,000 from immigration and migration difference. So, yeah, the population should be increasing rather quickly. I think within the next year or so we should be hitting 8 million. That'd be handy. So how good is our... Ooh, unemployment is 3.9%. Okay, how much do we have goods right now? 23,000. Now, I suppose technically if we got a decent production here still, we could probably get just another consumer goods factory. Those are fairly cheap in comparison. They provide a lot of money because the markup between each ton of good between the production cost and the sale cost, or the sale price, is About $1,500. So, okay, it's not as good as I hoped. I think it's been better at some point, but yeah, the production cost for us did increase at one point quite significantly. Now, another thing that we could do is we could get some synthetic rubber. It does require a lot of electricity and petroleum, but we do produce petroleum, and I'm pretty sure that the electricity price is still, yeah, it's dirt cheap right now, so we could easily do that. Now, how much does it say that it costs to make it? Now, they do actually produce the same amount as a plantation. It's just the upkeep cost is probably going to be a lot higher, plus all the resources that it takes. 250 million for the total cost. Okay, that's a bit higher than I expected. The question is, where can we... Because we can actually build it pretty much anywhere. Well, except the military stuff. Alright, well, I suppose that wouldn't be necessarily a bad thing. Or bad place. I'm kind of tempted to build one. I'm pretty sure that it's not going to be all that useful. Well, actually, you know what? Before I build that, I'm going to buy a bit more rubber from UK. We'll go 50 tons. Or 50,000 tons, rather. Oh, okay, sure. I can sell consumer goods to Denmark. Seems to be a good price. Although I didn't actually check how much that they were offering, but... They rarely ask you a deal where you are getting a loss. But sure, oh wow, they have a massive unemployment there. 8.7%. The inflation is actually negative right now. 2.9% unemployment for us. Alright then. Now, to be fair, did the effect on our birth rate and deaths? I didn't actually have that huge an effect yet. Now, we only bought one of the techs. We should buy the second one as well. Oh, there's multiple vaccines. Well, that increases the cost, but also the rating, and that is just rating. But that costs 400 million. How much would you want from that? 270. We don't quite have that, but we'll get that in probably about a week, I reckon. Although, well, actually, let's have a look. Canada, you don't have, or you don't want anything from us. UK, you probably don't want anything from us. Ooh, actually, Switzerland. Yeah, you want a little bit of things. Not a lot of money in all fairness, but it's still better than nothing. Nothing for those. Okay, so now we got the money, we can buy the antimicrobial sulfur drugs. That's going to increase the healthcare rating once more. And it might have an effect on the total rating. Now, we do have pretty good domestic approval rating, and we still don't have any elections in sight. It's about 2 years away, so we still got plenty of time, and I don't think we're going to lose any elections. Unless we start fighting wars and we need to cut down our various economical things. Oh, transportation improvements, good. How long until we get the gun? That's 1.5 months. Okay, we'll get that rather soon then. Machining tools is going to be 400 days, so we'll get the land force improvements for that. But that, oh wow. Yeah, the expenditures on research went down like crazy there. Still supporting, okay, so UK loves us again. That's good. I actually wonder, would there be any... Oh! Antibiotics, cost goes down 10% and rating goes up by 5%. That'd be nice. Alright then, well, we got a lot of... Oh, right, yeah, we wanted to build the synthetic rubber plant. Just one to see how well it works compared to how much we need it. Also, we might want to start figuring out one or two places where to expand our oil production. Now, remember that there were some places around here that we could expand it to. We've got pretty good supply over there. Oh, actually, that wouldn't be a bad place for the rubber plantation either. I'll send you to the construction site there. The reason for that, actually, yeah, we'll build the rubber plantation there, and you can go down there to build up another industrial goods factory at some point. How much do we have industrial goods? Oh, actually, we got enough to build the factory first. I think we may want to do it in that order then. Mostly because it costs 33,000 or 34,000 tons of industrial goods. And since we got the stockpile right now, we won't be using it all that quickly anyway. We will be accumulating a little bit of the stockpile there in the background, technically speaking. So yeah, we'll have a little bit extra. How much does it? It was 25,000. Yeah, 25,000 industrial goods for this synthetic rubber. Well, I'm sure that we can get one of those soon enough, but it is going to be a bit more expensive to build. And that's going to be taking a little bit more petroleum consumption, but at the same time, yeah, 3.2 million from consumer goods sales, that's quite impressive actually. Nothing from industrial goods sales right now because we're not selling anything, but petroleum is still about 1 million. Electric power is still basically nothing. Right, well, we're about to get that. Are there any other techs that we need to research ourselves? Mobile steel barges, but I don't think we need that unless we want to go to... Or we don't need that yet unless we want to go to... get some oil derricks offshore. Let's actually have a look. Is there any petroleum around in our shores? Oh, there is a little bit over there, but that's a bit far away, and over there as well. But I don't think we'll be going to those places. Now actually, yeah, so that is one place where we could expand our production of oil. We could expand it over there as well. Is that actually... Does that place also have agriculture? No, that one doesn't. Okay, but that one... Now, I'm just trying to figure out, would there be somewhere where we could do the same thing as we did with the... Not really, they don't line up particularly well. Still supporting UK, of course. I think at this point we can probably lower our diplomatic costs again a tiny bit. Not massive difference, but a little bit. Right, so are we should be pretty much done with the industrial goods factory now. Yeah, 2 more days. And we have 473 tons per day production. Or on the daily production. Unemployment is still fairly high, although that might be dropping in a little bit. 500, okay, yeah, so that increased by about 50 tons of extra. And let's have a look at the unemployment, 3.8 still. Okay, that's not too bad. And yeah, now our production should be increasing quite significantly. We can start producing a little bit of the artillery unit. I think I'll do that. So artillery, we'll just quickly make sure that we're not deploying them. That'd be 5. Then if we go over here, we can probably get rid of the old ones. Because the old artilleries are basically useless. So... add to selected. And hold on, do I need to... You know what, I'll just deploy them there. I'll select them and give them orders to scrap. It's going to give us a little bit of the supplies back. Not massively, mind you, but a little bit. Right, so we are back to 100 million in dollars. We're going to need about 250 according to the estimation on building the rubber plantations. Actually, that reminds me, was there any electricity? Oh, we could build hydro plants over there. I have another idea then. Not gonna scrap you. I'm gonna go construction over there and build another supply depot. Over there real quick. That's fairly quick to build and it doesn't take massive amounts of resources either. It's gonna increase the productions of petroleum and food, or agriculture. Speaking of agriculture, we still are a little bit ahead of the demand. Not so much in timber, so we might want to increase that actually. Actually, is there any timber production? Well, they would be around here. Places where we can actually place them down. I mean, I suppose... Oh, actually. Do we have... Oh yeah, we do have the railway going there already. Good. So improving areas around here wouldn't be too bad. if we want to do that. And I suppose, how much do we have the supplies? We've got 12,000. If I remember correctly, the industrial complex itself costs about 5,000. We'll save up the goods for the plantation first. Well, once we've gotten this one completed, and that's not going to take too long. But once we do have that, then we'll save up the cash and the goods to build the synthetic rubber plantation. Not plantation, just synthetic rubber plant. And, okay, so we got that. We got the artillery. Right, so I was going through the text. There's commercial plastics that we cannot buy. I'm going to put that into the research queue. Of course, it's going to delay the power grid once again, but the power price is currently very low. So we don't really need to worry about the power production too much. Now, how is the unemployment? Still 3.8%. That's going to drop a fair bit once we get this tomorrow, in fact. So once the supply rate increases, you know what, I could just build the synthetic rubber in this province, or this village here. That's a good supply. I can then build the hydro plants over there eventually. Eventually. Probably not right now though, but... So that's still about 11 months away. Land force improvement there. Machining tools is about a year away. Oh, that will take some time. Right, so do we actually make more? It did increase the petroleum production a tiny bit again. But if we have a look at the exports, so petroleum is over 1 million again, consumer goods is 3.1 million, industrial goods is about 400,000. Doesn't seem to be anyone who's wanting to buy them right now, unless I start selling or offering them to say, oh. But the Germans managed to capture Vyazma over here. I think they are being pushed back again. The Soviets are right next to Minsk on both sides, both south and north. I think they may have managed to push back a little bit around here, but not massively, so I don't think there's going to be a huge difference for the time being. Let's have a look at the situation on the Western Front. Okay, so the battle is still raging on outside of Paris. They have managed to take a little bit around here. We've now secured that area a little bit more. Okay. Interesting. Let's actually have a look at the industrial goods, not industrial, military goods. So, Germany has a demand of 112,000, whereas Soviet Russia has 7,000. Okay, yeah, the Germans do have a fair bit higher production though, but yeah, apparently they have a massive military that needs to be supplied. Wouldn't surprise me. Right, so we did produce the artillery units already, but we're not deploying them unless we have to. And we've got the land force improvement still underway. How much? We've got about 20,000 industrial goods. We still need to wait for another 5,000, and then we can start building the synthetic rubber plants. Just to see how much it can actually produce. I mean, technically we can calculate how much it can produce. If the max is 40,000 tons, so that divided by 365, it can produce about 100 tons per day at max supply. So 80 or 90%, so okay, it might... One of them might actually meet our demand, more or less. Because we got pretty good supply in here. 211 or 215 million now. Still need quite a bit of industrial goods, but we can start producing it or building it soon. In the meanwhile, these researchers are actually not too expensive. Paying about 2.2 million per day for research. How is the unemployment? 3.9%. Oh. Okay, well, at least the inflation is going down. So there's that. The domestic product rating is still 33.4. And immigration is still massive, it's just picking up more and more speed. 7.9 million in population though, so we should be hitting the 8 million soon. It looks like the daily increase is about... Well, actually, no, it's not all that big. Not every day, anyway. For a moment, I thought it was like 3,000 per day, but no, I think it's about somewhere between 1,000 and a few hundred. Right, how are we doing in terms of the... Ooh, we might have to activate some metal mines soon enough. Not right now, of course, but eventually. Now, to be fair, we are going to be using a decent bit of our petroleum, so we will be essentially sacrificing a decent chunk of our... or some sort of chunk. I don't actually remember how much the synthetic rubber uses oil. What I do remember is that they do use oil. Actually, we don't have a barracks there. That might be something that we'll want to build next. So that is going to top off the supply in here. It's going to increase the petroleum production there. We're going to set up another industrial complex down here for more petroleum. And some other things perhaps. For example, synthetic rubber. We're going to make this area and the synthetic rubber production. Over here we're going to have the timber production that we definitely need to expand. Oh, we actually have to expand it now if we want to keep it up. I mean, at the same time, we got massive stockpile, so we don't need to worry about that. It's going to last us for... Actually, how long? With this current speed, it's going to last for well over 40 years. Okay, I think we're fine. Eventually we do need to upgrade that though. We can easily set up more over here. Some massive timber yards. Or timber mills rather. 265 days for the land force improvements. Right, so the synthetic... Ooh, wow, yeah, the money is going down rather quickly. I mean, it looks like the production cost is like 10 million per day. About 10 million, yeah. Okay. Of course, the production cost on once it's actually running, it's also going to be relatively high, I reckon. So it currently says it's 314 the production price, but of course, since that's kind of counting it for the... If we were to build some plantations, that would be the production cost. But once we get production... Actually, I'm just going to quickly make sure that we're not selling any of that. Increasing the basic price to at least 350. So the plantation is going to be done in 3 days. Because we're basically building at triple speed. Still supporting UK. That's fine. There we go. Ooh, so we are actually producing more than we are consuming right now, but it did increase the production cost a decent chunk there. So we won't be able to sell anything anyway, but we're not going to be selling anything. I'm just going to accumulate that so we can expand our industry without having to buy more. Now, to be fair, it did increase the production cost a decent chunk. Well, actually, we can easily calculate that. So, 100 times... So it's about 500,000 extra production cost. No, wait. No, not 500,000. Uh, 50,000. Or 51,000 technically speaking, but yeah, it did increase the production costs somewhat. And of course now we are selling a bit less petroleum. Although actually, how much do we use? So rubber production takes 200 barrels of oil, or petroleum. Hold on, did I say 200? 2,000. So it takes about 20 barrels of oil per ton of rubber. Okay, that's not too bad, I guess. Right, so we did increase the industrial goods production already. How much do we have? We got 10,000 tons there. We got 6,000 tons here. Can we build another barracks? I mean, I know that we can. The question is how quickly. Military... Where's the barracks? There you are. It takes... Yeah, we can. So that's going to top off this area. I guess we still have plenty of... Well, actually, the unemployment isn't too bad. 3.7% right now. We can certainly live with that, and GDP per capita is over 1,000 once more. But we might want to start accumulating a little bit of money after the barracks here. Now, luckily that's going to be completed very soon. Mostly so that we can buy a few techs from United States. At that point our unemployment is probably high enough rather, so that we can then maybe expand our production of either consumer goods, which we are still selling a lot, or industrial goods, which might also be fairly good. But it would appear that we are out of time, so I will be doing some preparations for various things between the episodes once more. But anyway, if you enjoyed this, please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Also check out the links down below in the description. But other than that, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.